At 3:17 a.m., your entire batch pipeline froze. The upstream job showed running, but zero activity on the agent. The culprit? A simple database call that hung forever because AutoSys had no way to kill it. Let's break down Introduction to AutoSys, how it works, and the exact mistake behind that failure. AutoSys is a workload automation platform. At its core, it does three things: scheduling, dependency management, and monitoring. It's like a smart alarm clock for your servers, running programs at the right time in the right order. Jobs are defined using JIL. Here's a basic example that runs a report script every weekday at 6 a.m. Notice the required fields: name, type, command, machine, and schedule. This JIL definition creates a command job that runs a shell script. The job will execute on prod server 01 every weekday at 6 a.m. Always test with the service account to avoid permission issues. Cron is great for simple tasks on a single server. But when you have hundreds of interdependent jobs across dozens of servers, Cron breaks. AutoSys gives you centralized control, dependency management, and built-in alerting. With Cron, downstream jobs run at fixed times regardless of upstream success. AutoSys uses conditions to ensure transform data only runs after ingest data succeeds. This prevents silent failures. AutoSys jobs go through a defined lifecycle. Understanding statuses like on ice versus on hold is critical. And max run alarm is your first line of defense against hung jobs. Box jobs group related jobs together. Here, settlement runs at 2 a.m. and reconciliation runs only after settlement succeeds. Boxes can be nested for complex workflows. Knowing job statuses helps you diagnose issues quickly. A job stuck in starting usually means the agent is unreachable. Success means exit code 0, failure means non-zero. The event processor is the central brain. If it crashes, your entire pipeline goes dark. Smart teams run redundant processors and use time conditions to avoid cascading failures. This configuration sets up active-passive event processors. The standby detects missed heartbeats and takes over. The job uses a time condition as an escape hatch. If reports ready never finishes, it starts by 6 a.m. anyway. Your AutoSys job is only as reliable as the script it runs. Exit codes map to AutoSys statuses. 0 is success, 1 is failure, 2 triggers restart, 3 terminates the chain. Always define exit code mappings. This script configuration defines exit code mappings and retry logic. Exit code 2 triggers a restart with exponential backoff. This gives you granular control without retriggering downstream dependencies. AutoSys can run Docker containers, but it cannot see inside them. The job status depends entirely on the exit code of Docker run. Mount a shared volume for logs and always use RM to avoid filling up disk space. This JIL runs a Docker container with a pinned image tag. SDDout and SDDare go to a mounted volume, not AutoSys spool. The max run alarm is set to 3600 seconds to prevent hangs. AutoSys relies on network connections. If packet loss exceeds 0.1%, jobs fail. The fix is to log locally first and then copy to a shared NFS mount, bypassing the agent's network dependency. This configuration reduces network timeout to 30 seconds and sets DNS retries. Setting fail on DNS failure to false allows the job to continue with IP cache. Always log locally first to avoid losing output on network failure. AutoSys can launch Kubernetes batch jobs, but it lacks native pod status awareness. Wrap the kubectl command with a polling loop that checks pod phase every 5 seconds and only exits when the pod reaches succeeded or failed. This job runs a kubectl polling script. The max run alarm is set to 4680 seconds, 3600 plus 30% buffer. The script exits 0 only when the pod succeeds, preventing false negatives. This is the same issue we highlighted at the start. Here's exactly why that happened. The stored procedure entered an infinite loop because a column used in the loop condition was null. AutoSys never terminated it because max run alarm was not set. The job appeared running but made no progress. Without max run alarm, a hung job blocks the entire pipeline indefinitely. The fix was to add max run alarm, 60 and terminate on max run, yes to the JIL definition. This ensures the job is killed after 60 minutes if it hangs. Also added a null check in the stored procedure to exit gracefully. This job has no max run alarm. If the script hangs, AutoSys will never terminate it. Always set max run alarm on every CMD job that calls external processes, even simple database calls. A common mistake is putting a condition on the box job itself. Children should have their own conditions. Box-level conditions are for advanced orchestration only. On hold defers execution until the condition is met, then runs automatically. On ice never runs unless forced. Confusing them can cause jobs to fire unexpectedly in the middle of the night. This condition requires success, exit code 0. If upstream fails with non-zero, the condition never triggers. Use O for completion regardless of exit code. These commands diagnose 90% of production issues. Autorep Q shows current status, L020 shows the last run log. If the process exited but AutoSys didn't detect it, the agent may need a restart. Let's run through some common interview questions. What is AutoSys? Enterprise workload automation for scheduling, dependency, monitoring across servers. What is JIL? Job information language, a declarative language to define AutoSys jobs. Difference between on hold and on ice. On hold defers until condition clears. On ice blocks permanently until forced. And a few frequently asked questions. Is AutoSys still used? Yes, in banking, insurance, telecom for mission-critical batch workloads. Do I need Linux knowledge? Helpful but not required. Web UI is available. Can AutoSys run Python scripts? Yes, any executable can be a CMD job. To recap, AutoSys is a powerful enterprise tool, but it requires discipline. Always set max run alarm, understand the state machine, and test with the correct service account. These practices will save you from silent pipeline failures. Ready to go deeper? Up next, AutoSys architecture and components, then AutoSys event server and event processor, then AutoSys installation and setup. Find them all at TheCodeForge.io. Thanks for watching. The full article and code examples are covered in detail at TheCodeForge.io.